Today's topic is probably going to make me unpopular with quite a few people, and I'm okay with that, because I've always been the type of person who does the right thing whether it's easy or not. Today's topic, as you will see from the headline, is copyrighted designs. Before I get into this video, I just want to express that any information divulged in this video is purely my own opinion and it is not based in any legal expertise at all. I have done some research on these things, so some of the things that I mention will be true at the moment of this filming. However, that still means that please don't take any of this advice as expressed legal opinion, because that is not what my intention is with this video. Now, this is something that has grated me up the wrong way for a really long time, especially when it comes to those free SVG groups, or people just freely sharing designs, people sharing designs that they've bought, etc. I know that a large majority of us are just trying to help the person that is looking for a particular design. However, very often we don't think about what it is doing to the person that has actually designed the image. When it comes to the actual process of designing an image, a lot of designs are being designed by freelance artists, and freelance artists use design sales to fund their bills, like paying for their food, paying for their electricity, paying for their bond, those kinds of things. And by simply copying and sharing designs, we would essentially be stealing money off their table. Freelance artists spend hours drawing digitally, painting, creating, designing, preparing, etc. And to then take that design and just simply copy it from somebody else is not right. There are many websites and platforms that allow you to buy subscriptions, which means that you can buy the designs legally, whether it's standard copyright or a commercial copyright, which we'll go over in a minute. And then you'll know that you're supporting the designer who is also trying to make ends meet just like you are, and you will have all of the correct licensing for the things that you are using. When it comes to buying the correct license, if you are using a design to put on a t-shirt, to be able to sell that item, like as an example, if we had to take the t-shirt that I'm wearing, Let's Get Clacking, if I wanted to sell this t-shirt, this design, I would need to own the commercial license for it, which means that I am allowed to profit off using this design on my t-shirt. Now, of course, this is a design that I made from scratch myself. I obviously did use the font, but I have the commercial license for that font, even though I'm not going to be selling this shirt. If you do not own the commercial license for a design, then you are not allowed to sell that design. A lot of ethics comes into play here, because a lot of people will say, what are the chances that somebody will actually find out that I'm selling this design? And what are the chances that they will actually prosecute me? At the end of the day, that would be a question of ethics. Yes, you would probably be able to get away with not using commercial licenses. I completely do not agree with that method, but there are people out there that would. And again, yes, you probably won't be prosecuted for using that design, because chances are the designer wouldn't necessarily know that you're actually using their design. But how does that make you feel? If that were me, it wouldn't sit right with me, because I know that I'm profiting off somebody else's hard work without paying them for it. And at the end of the day, is that ethical? Is that right? No, it's not. So I pay a few rand extra to be able to have the commercial license for that design, to know that if I have to sell this t-shirt, if I have to sell this mug, if I have to sell this artwork, then I know that I have done my due diligence and paid for the correct licensing for that design. Another question that I hear very often is, how do I tell if I'm buying the original design from the original creator? This is a very difficult question to answer. I'm sure that there are softwares out there that will be able to tell you if you're buying the correct license. However, if you were to do a little bit of manual searching, you might be able to find copies of the design, and you might be able to tell if that person has actually created the design or not. One of the ways that I like to try and find out if I'm buying the correct design is by using a reverse image search on Google. And let's take a look at how that's done. So when it comes to using a reverse image search on Google, what you can do is go to images.google.com. See, now it opens up, it says Google Images, right? So you can then search for something if you're looking for a particular image. So if you're looking for a cow, you can type in cow and it'll bring up different photos. Or if you are wanting to search by an image, you can click the little camera icon and then you can upload an image, or you can paste on an image URL. So I'm going to upload an image. Let's try this Tracing in Silhouette Studio, because obviously it's my thumbnail for my last YouTube video. So it starts uploading the file. So we can see now that it brings up the various different images that we're looking at. So it can't find any other image other than the one that we've uploaded, which makes sense because it's a thumbnail. It's not necessarily an image that's on, websites and things like that. But we can see how it's actually detected the butterfly in the photo, and it's bringing up similar images to that. So if you have an image that you're looking for an exact copy, you may be able to find something that's very similar. And at the top here, it says no other image sizes found. If it's a very popular image and it's been uploaded to multiple different websites, it'll say small, medium, or large, which is also useful if you're looking for a higher quality version of the picture that you have. So let's try a different image. I'm going to just copy the image address of the, Republic of South African logo, and let's go back, and then we can again search by image, and now this time we can actually paste in the URL, and then what it'll do is it'll go and crawl that image, upload it, and then search it. And you can see here how it says the South African Embassy logo, and it says all sizes small. So if you click on small, then it'll bring up different options there. And then you can see where these come from. But you can also see that it is the South African Embassy logo and all the similar images that are showing here. If we go onto Etsy, so now we've typed in butterfly and digital to try and find a digital design, not something that will be physically sent to us. So let's open up this one, watercolor butterfly clip art. So if we were to right click on this image, and then we can see at the bottom there, it says search Google for this image. So let's right click on that. Let's see. So we can see here, it says possible related search girly. Not really, but cool. And then we can go all sizes small, and we can see how Rebecca Gavalek seems to be the only person that has this exact image on Google. And then we can go to the actual page to see if it's the one that we're trying to buy it from. And here it's from Maria Art Creative. Okay, and here we have Rebecca Gavalek. So we can already see the chances are one of two of them is the original. And let's try and search her for butterfly. Okay, it seems like it's been maybe removed from her shop. Okay, so we've now gone through her entire store and I can't see anything that is related to butterflies. So chances are this is probably something else on Etsy that it is referring to. Maybe it was Rebecca Gavalek that bought this design, or she tried to use it at some point and then it was removed by Etsy. But because we can't find it and it's still available on this shop, I think it's safe to say that this person would probably be the original creator of this design. So that's one of the ways that you can figure out if you're questioning whether a design is authentic on that person's shop or not, then that's one of the ways that you can then go about it. Reverse image search, check to see which other pages it's showing on. Go and look on those pages to see maybe it's a caching error, which means that maybe the search engine has incorrectly saved that information as it is no longer available on those websites. Another way to find out or double check if you're buying the correct design is to try and track that creator down on social media. People like sharing a lot of what they're doing on social media. Granted, not everybody has social media accounts for all of their businesses, and if they are buying designs for things like design bundles or a silhouette design store or So Fancy or whatever, they may actually not have social media. Of course, there are a lot of shops like So Fancy, Design Bundles, Silhouette Design Store, where many different creators upload their designs onto the platform. I'm not saying this is how each and every one of these platforms works, because they will all have their own individual ways of operating, and I'm not familiar with all of them. But Silhouette Design Store, as an example, you can actually sign up to be a creator on the store, and then you'll be able to sell your designs through their design store. Another thing that I see very popular at the moment is using big brand names on your mug designs or even t-shirt designs or whatever the case may be. Companies like Ford, Disney, Coca-Cola, etc. A lot of these are trademark designs, which means that you are not allowed to use them at all in any capacity, and if you have bought a license for them, then that is not a legal license. As an example, if you buy a mug design where it says Ford and then it's kind of, antiqued and vintage, etc., that person that is selling you that design is actually not legally allowed to sell you that design. Now, of course, I'm not going to get into the whole legal side of it because I'm not a lawyer. I'm not somebody who has studied law. I'm not somebody that has studied copyright law or anything like that. So I would double check any of this information that I'm sharing because, also depending on when you're watching this video, whether whether it's immediately or a few years in the future. Legalities do sometimes change, even though the majority of it stays the same. So please don't take anything that I say in this video as legal advice. This is purely my own opinion that has been formed from my own research. This is purely my own opinion, and it has no physical basis in legal fact whatsoever. So when it comes to using designs from those types of companies, that is where a lot of the gray area comes in, because when it comes to using something like Mickey Mouse or Cinderella, Tangled or something like that, one of those characters that are in a movie as big as a Disney movie, again, it goes back to what I said earlier. Chances are that the company you are copying will not find you. But do you want to take that risk? As far as I know, if this is your business and it is your main income and you are selling their designs on your t-shirts or whatever the case may be, they can take everything from you. They can take your sublimation printer, they can take your vinyl cutter, they can take your computer, because you have broken copyright and you are essentially stealing their designs and their income. So personally, when it comes to me, if people ask me to copy a design or print something that I know for a fact is something that should not be copied, or I'm unable to track down the original owner of the image and buy the correct licensing from them, then I will not do it. Especially these days, when it comes to things like selling other people's merchandise. Like recently I had a question of somebody was wanting advice on how to make a certain item, and I said to them that this logo that you're trying to reproduce is actually from a content creator, and this content creator in particular was selling these t-shirts as a means of raising an income to be able to donate to people who are in need. Like they have charity shops, they run homeless shelters, they run food trucks, and selling those t-shirts and hoodies and things like that is a way of them being able to earn income. By having people copy their designs, that means that they're essentially losing an income, which means that the people that they're trying to help aren't able to get the help that they need, because there's maybe no funding for that. So that's another reason why we need to make sure that we keep an eye out on what copyrights we're using, because we may not know that the original copyright owner is actually somebody that is trying to do good in the world. And if we are taking money away from them, then we are essentially taking money away from whatever good that they're trying to implement in the world. And the last thing that I wanted to touch on in today's video is your own copyright. So if you are somebody who is a designer and you are creating your own designs to be able to sell, then you would also be protected by copyright law. Obviously, I live in South Africa, so I'm only really going to speak to the South African copyright law. I know that America has a similar law to us, but theirs is a little bit more fleshed out in terms of timelines. And I'm not going to quote any different time frames because I'm not an American, and I don't feel that that is appropriate for me to comment on. But they do have a more robust law than what we have in South Africa. So essentially you guys are pretty much protected, which is amazing. But here in South Africa, I actually went to the government's website and looked up the copyright law on the government website. Of course, I'm filming this in April 2021, so this may change in the future. But essentially what that law says is that anything that you create, you're automatically protected under copyright law. And I'm actually going to hop onto the website to show you the exact law so that we can have the correct wording and understand it properly. I'm just going to be reading this straight off the website so that we don't get the wording incorrect. So it says copyright is secured automatically when you create an original work that people can see or hear, such as a book, painting, or music. Most works eligible for copyright protection do not require registration or other formalities, except for cinematograph films. You can create your own copyright by putting the words copyright or copyright reserved, or the internationally recognized copyright symbol followed by your name and the year, e.g. Baloyi 2011, on your original work. However, if you want to have a copyright in a film, DVD, or video, you must apply to the Registrar of Copyright on prescribed forms. And then it gives you the lists. So this website, I will actually leave a link in the description for you so that you can refer back to it at some point. If you're watching this video far ahead of 2021, then you'll be able to see whether this has changed or not. Anything that you were to create is automatically protected by copyright. So you don't have to worry about going to actually register it. Now, obviously, copyright and trademark are two completely different things, but this refers to artworks that you would create or something that you would design, or like I say, any original work that people can see or hear, such as a book, painting, or music. I really want to thank you guys for watching this whole video. As I said in the beginning, I know that it'll probably make me quite unpopular with a lot of people, especially if you are used to just gathering designs from everywhere. I understand that that means that this may change some of your process, or may change your feelings towards the process, even if you aren't going to be changing the way that you get your designs. But like I said, I would rather have this information out there and help people to do the right thing. Support your creators, support your artists, because if you don't support your artists, then at the end of the day, you won't have any designs to use, because artists will essentially go into other jobs because they know that what is the point in me making all these designs and putting them out there on the internet if people are just going to steal them and I'm not going to earn any money from them? So please support artists. Artists are the reason why you have a job. Artists are the reason why you're able to produce such amazing content and so many amazing products. So please support your artists. I really hope that helps. If you find this information helpful, give it a thumbs up. If you don't like what I'm saying, give it a thumbs down, by all means. I do produce a lot of crafting related tutorials, so if you want to see more crafting related tutorials in the future, subscribe to my channel, and I hope to see you in the next video. And remember, be kind to someone today. See you soon.